Chapter 5 We are taking you home. Miao's heart pounded, and her hand that just reached out stopped in midair. I told you not to come here, but you didn't listen to me. You insisted on coming. Another voice sounded. It was a man. Mr. and Mrs. Would you like me to check outside? As soon as his voice died away, the door was suddenly opened. Not only Miao, but the people inside the room were stunned. Ah! Ms. Second is back. The young man in a suit shouted. Miao saw a man and a woman standing inside, and the woman actually was stepping on her towel. You are back. The man smiled and greeted her. Come in. The woman was wearing a cheongsam, with exquisite makeup on her face. Although she was laughing at her, Miao could tell that she did not like her. Who are you? She was afraid to go in and asked at the door. The man seemed to be trying to make himself look gentle. We are your relatives. Don't be afraid, just come in. Miao slowly moved in. When the man at the door wanted to close the door, Miao immediately blocked him and said, Do not close the door. Keep it open if she wants and inform her quickly. The woman urged. She pulled Miao over and looked at her face carefully. Then she frowned and complained, How did you become so ugly? When you were a child, you obviously looked like your sister. The man glanced at her and said, What nonsense. Miao, come here. The woman's fingernails left a shallow bruise on Miao's wrist. Miao shook off her hand and stood in the corner. Who are you? What are you doing at my house? Miao. The man looked at her. We are your uncle and aunt. Uncle and aunt? Miao's heart tumbled for a while. She frowned and asked, You are from the Xia family? Miao's impression of the Xia family stayed at the age of 12 when she stood in front of the beautiful villa on the top of the mountain with her mother's cremains. She waited from the early morning to the dark. When the downpour fell, she turned and left. She recalled the voice in her memory again, Get out, I don't have a daughter like your mother, and I won't recognize you. You're an illegitimate child. Miao? Receiving no response, the man became anxious. Look, we have been looking for you for so many years. Come home with us now. We will take care of you in the future. Looking for me? I haven't even left City S. The former welfare home was on the edge of the city. It took you 8 years to find me. Ha ha. Am I an idiot? Fine, it's okay. The woman walked to Miao's side and pushed her impatiently. This place is dirty and smelly. You don't have to take anything. I will buy you new stuff on our way home. Come on, let's go. Miao avoided her hand. No, I have a good life here and I don't want to go back with you. Not coming back? The woman raised her voice and her expression suddenly became fierce. After being pushed by the man beside her, she then snorted and went outside the door. The man tried to lower his voice as much as possible and gently looked at Miao. Your mother is called Xia He. I am her eldest brother, Xia Xing. The woman at the door is my wife, Yao Lily. We are your uncle and aunt. He felt that Miao might have forgotten her own identity, so he began to explain the situation of the Xia family to her. Finally, he said, Come home with us. Don't you want to go to college? We can fund you. You will live in a beautiful house in the future, with your sisters. Going to college. Miao only noticed these words. However, as long as she thought that the reason they brought her back would not be so simple, she hesitated and remembered what Xia had told her before her death. Miao, you have to remember. You can never be beaten by life. You must learn to smile. Be a strong girl. When you see your father one day, tell him, I don't regret it. As for the Xia family, don't go back to them until you have to. They are a group of vampires who will sell you and squeeze everything out of you for the dirty and decaying family. Her mother's last words were vivid. Thinking of this, Miao shook her head. I believe that you are my uncle, but I don't want to go back. I am used to living here. Don't talk nonsense with her. Yao Lily stamped her feet and said to the man who was waiting at the door. Go and take her away. Zai Haixin said with an angry voice, what are you doing? This is my niece, if you hurt her, I will kick your ass. You. Yao Lily widely opened her eyes and wanted to say something until she saw Zai Haixin secretly blinked at her. She had to walk to Miao in patience and said, Miao, we really want to take you back. This is a command from your grandfather. You know that the old man is always stubborn. If he wants you to go back, even if you don't want to, he will always find a way to get you to compromise. She stared at Miao, do you understand me? Miao was kind of an orphan. She had acted according to the real situation since she was young. How could she not understand that Yao Lily was threatening her? It seemed that they had made up their mind to take her back today anyway. Backbone would be life-threatening sometimes. Miao was a very clever person. For her, as long as she could live, it didn't matter if she was treated unkindly. Zhuzhou once described her like a cockroach who would not die easily. Therefore, she looked at her so-called uncle and said, well, please wait for me downstairs. I need to pack up. There is nothing to pack up. They are all trash. They are all garbage. Yao Lily went out, muttering. Zai Haixin smiled at Miao, don't bring too much. We have prepared new stuff for you. Miao didn't answer him. After they all left, she took out a woven bag to pack up her daily necessities and clothes. She didn't notice that she only had very few things until she packed up. She carefully covered the bed with a piece of broken sheets and put everything into her closet. Then she dragged the woven bag and walked to the door, taking a long breath. She had a hunch that she could not come back in a short time. Miao. A weak voice sounded behind her.